YouTube, this is Pecktec, and to say my dad had a good time flying the drone around his house, well, that's a bit of an understatement. He had a really good time, and he wanted to see what some of the newer ones would do, but he knew I would probably get more out of it than he does, so he went ahead and got me an early birthday present, which we're going to open right now. This is my new drone. Let's take a look. My goodness, this thing's enormous. A lot bigger than I thought it would be. Alright, here we go. And here it is. It's the DJI Inspire 1 V2. Go ahead and unzip it here. Ooh. Back here in the back we have blades. Yeah. So we got two sets of blades. Wow, look how big these are. That's huge! That is so huge. Like, I guess the Phantom ones were like fairly big too in comparison. Wow. What's great about this case is like all the stuff has a place. Everything has a place in here, so it's all nice and tidy. Some wrapping material. It's got little compartments for batteries everywhere. There's 3 here, another one here. Right here we have a strap to help you hold this big controller. We got some cables. I think they're those little micro USB cables, and a power source here, probably for the charger. The controller. Of course, it comes nice and wrapped up. Ooh, got a little dust here and there. So I'll pull this out. It's fairly weighty. Fairly weighty. Okay, I'm going to pull all this stuff out and just set it on the table. Well, let's see what else we got here. Now that this is up. Another battery. Just battery compartments hidden all over the place. The charger to charge the batteries. This is the camera. Very cool. Comes with a neutral density filter to kind of make it a little bit darker. In bright daylight, you're going to need that. And the camera and gimbal right here. Very neat. Really cool little camera. And of course this drone is meant to be modular, so this part can come off, so if they make a better camera just a few weeks from now, as they always do, I can always swap it up for a better camera later on. So that's pretty cool. Alright, this is a charging cable for the batteries. And this is a micro USB cable. We got some more of these rubber things that kind of work as a shock absorbers for the gimbal, and a screwdriver. Right here in the front, a nice set of instructions. Oh, but wait, there's more. There's another whole box here. Let's take a look. Aha. Alright, I have some blade guards. What else we got? Another controller. Why 2 controllers, you might ask? Well, with this drone, one person can work the camera and one person can fly. So you can actually have a cameraman. Okay, I've got a charging hub. This will charge 4 batteries at once. Really handy if you want to just get back into the action real quick. This is a lens hood for wide-angle cameras to go on the lens. This is a landing gear riser kit. Makes the landing gear a little bit taller. Here's a remote control monitor hood so that when I'm out in sunlight, I can have this on my iPad mini and still be able to see what's going on. Here's another strap for the remote. This is a battery heater. Apparently you can heat up your batteries so that if you're in cold weather, you can warm up your battery before you start to fly, and apparently that helps a little bit. That's that stuff. I gotta say, my initial impression is just, it's a fantastically made machine. I mean, this thing seems it's really well put together. That carbon fiber frame. It's got these snapping blade things instead of the little spinny they used to spin on. Really, really cool. And the controller itself, it's really solid. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It's got all kinds of controls all over it. This is for the landing gear. You can actually make the landing gear go up. You've got camera controls, ports out, including HDMI, USB, and a proprietary port of some sort. Also, it's got these rubberized grips. Like, it's really feels good in your hand. Just really solid, really nice. And it's got an area here where you can put a tablet, phone, iPad. Let's see. Wow, just sandwiches right in there. All right. Very cool. I'll have to figure out what all this does. As you can see from the plane itself, it's mostly battery. This whole part in the back is all battery. But underneath, it has these sensors. These sensors kind of watch the ground, so even if you go indoors, if you want to fly indoors, this is going to watch the ground, and it can do things like trigger the landing gear to come down, or just kind of keep you stable even though you don't have a GPS signal. This, like a lot of the other Phantoms, uses GPS to keep it stabilized and to use some of the higher functions. It's got all kinds of great modes. There's been literally a metric ton of these videos made about the Inspire. I'm just kind of sharing my personal experience. Obviously, I've had it for all of just a few minutes, so I don't know everything that I need to know to feel good about flying this in the sky. So what I'm going to do is just stop it right here. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to figure out some stuff. I at least want to get the camera going. Alright, so I've watched a lot of the videos on this, so to get the camera on, I need to get this out of travel mode, which is where the landing gear is flat and kind of make it raise up. So let's try that. Ooh, okay. Turn this mechanism 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, then we turn it off. Got a special little trick. You do it. Hit the button once and then hold it down. Okay. Another thing that's interesting on the V2, this has a much larger gimbal. So it could probably hold the heavier cameras. Should I evolve to a heavier camera? Unlocked. Oh. Camera and gimbal. Notice has a similar cap. Comes off. There's a line right here to line it up. I'll do that now. What I need to do is grow like 4 or 5 more arms. Okay. Maybe put it there and then spin this to lock it. Again, completely guessing. That's what you want to do. Guess. Alright. Alright, so I was up late learning about this drone and drones in general and what you need to know in Tennessee if you want to fly one. I did a lot more studying for this because it's a much more expensive proposition if something goes wrong. I have registered this with the FAA and I got my little registration sticker. It's required in Tennessee at least. I think this might be everywhere. It's required to list your registration number, just like a regular airplane with those numbers on the side. And you have to do it in a way where it can be easily viewed without disassembling anything. It says you can put it inside the battery compartment if you want to, but I'm just going to stick mine. Just going to put that right across the top. Easy to see. Now, as a computer person, I can tell you that updating your firmware is usually really important, and it's doubly important with aircraft or things like this. Firmware includes important fixes, things that they didn't get to in the original design, and you're going to probably want when you go flying your expensive toy around. And something I thought was strange is not only did I have to update the firmware on the copter, but I did it on both the controllers and all the batteries. These batteries have firmware updates. They do some neat things. I haven't read exactly everything about these batteries, but from what I understand, if they have a full charge on them for more than a few days, and you can change the amount of days, they will automatically discharge some of their power so that they survive longer. These things aren't meant to be stored with a full charge on them all the time. But you should always have a full charge before you put it in here and go to fly. DJI does not recommend flying with any partially charged batteries. It's pretty easy to see if they're charged. You just click the button once, and it lights up. I wanted to mention too, they have an app that they recommend. Well, they recommend. It's only got just a couple of stars on the App Store, but it will tell you all the airports that are in town. And when you go on the website for the FAA and fill out your form and stuff, they have a link to this app that they've put out, and it lists all the airports. You need to be within further than 5 miles away from an airport unless you want to contact them. I mean, if you want to just fly without contacting anyone, you need to be 5 miles away from an airport. Okay, so I'm out here in the field where it all started, kind of getting a feel for just how this thing works. I've got a nice open area to play in. There's a great big field here. I'm just going to fly it around and kind of take a look and see what I can see. I just initiated the go home function. I had a low battery warning, so I'm just going to bring it home. And not really touching the controls at all. And it just coming on down on its own. Okay, it's hot as hell out here. But for my final trick, I've got one battery left in my little bag. I'm gonna try a live stream, see how that works, or if I can make it work. Let's see. All right, so there it is. I'm actually live streaming right now. I'm not sure how good the feed looks. I'll have to take a look at that in a second. It handles really, really well. Real impressed. I have to say operating the drone was very intuitive. It responded very quickly. It was really nice to be able to reset the camera settings as far as like the exposure and stuff from the sky. That was great. There was one point where I was having trouble kind of seeing how I was oriented. I got a little far out. I hit the return to home button and it just came straight back to where we were. I was able to regain control and then land it safely. So far, no wrecks, no problems. It's been just an excellent flying vehicle, and I highly recommend it to anyone else that wants to try this. You guys follow your bliss. Have a great week. I'll see you soon.
Turn it off.
Did not quite make the pad.